welcome. Here we are again, season 8, episode 6. The show is I'm Right. We'll start in approximately 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And tonight we're going to have a guest, Charlie Perry, and we're going to talk about fentanyl tonight. It's going to be very interesting. Charlie's going to have a whole lot of information for us, and we're really looking forward to it. And Charlie, just so you know, I do see you here in the green room, so ready to go. So all is good. All right.
Okay.
All right, cool. So now, for those of you that are watching this show in replay, know that you can fast forward right past this spot and get right into the show. And for those of you that are here live, we've got another 3 minutes and 30 seconds until we go live, even though we're live right now, but you will see us and hear us in approximately 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Now, for those of you that are watching on Facebook or YouTube, you can comment or ask a question anytime you want. And that's exciting. We always love it when the audience makes comments. Now, also, if you want to be a part of the show, you want to be heard and or seen, all you have to do is hit that link that you see on Facebook or YouTube, and it'll bring you right into the show, and we will acknowledge that you are here, and we'll let you know when we're bringing you on the stage. So you won't have to do a thing except hit that link. So that's pretty cool. So look, this season has been fabulous for us because we've had a lot of guests and a lot of people asking questions and making comments. And we really do love it when you make comments or ask questions, because this show is not just Jill and I's show. This is your show too. And when you're here, you make for a better show, for better content. So you have a hand in how good our shows are. All right, so we've got about another 1 minute and 45 seconds, and we'll get right into the show. So please stand by. Okay, for those of you that are very anxious and missed hearing my voice, here I am again. Now, Charlie Perry tonight, he's a very interesting thing. Even though we're talking interesting person, even though we're talking about fentanyl tonight, Charlie, which is his stage name, his podcast name, he has several podcasts that he does, and he'll tell you all about those also. And he's very amusing also, so he has a very good sense of humor. So we're looking forward to seeing Really Charlie, which is Charlie Perry. We've got about another 30 seconds before we get started, so please stand by.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
How are
people.
you?
What's up?
Welcome, everybody. This is I'm Right,
I'm right.
and I'm Jill Cox Cordova,
I'm Anthony Cordova,
and we're back.
in case you didn't know.
We are back
Yeah, we are back. How about that?
since last week. It's been a whole week.
Yes, it has been a whole week. It went by just like that.
Well, it was kind of, it went a little longer than that, I think, but okay.
Seems like we just did this last night.
No, it doesn't to me.
It does.
It does it to me. It does it to me. Well, before I get to tonight's topic, I want to welcome some people.
Who do we have? Who do
We
we
have the Cordoba's in the house.
So,
Woohoo! It's Connie and Ronaldo.
Connie and Ronaldo. Hi, y'all.
Hi.
Good to see ya.
Yay! Welcome. And if I'm sure there are other people there too. So if you're here, say hello.
If you're on Facebook or YouTube, just type in the comments and say, "Hey, what's up?
What's
How
up?
y'all doing?"
What's up? What's
Yeah.
up?
Okay. Okay. We both said okay. Okay.
Well, since we do have a guest tonight, let's go ahead and start the topic, shall we?
Sure.
Well, tonight we're talking about fentanyl and its impact on families and relationships. It's part of a segment that we call
Stand by your stance.
Stand by your stance.
So, of course, our stance is that, we joked about this, but it's actually serious. But our of course, we're going to say don't do drugs, right?
Yeah. Don't do drugs.
But in the spirit of taking a stance, we thought it would be interesting for me to read two statements to you, Tony,
Okay.
and you tell me whether you can view them as myths or misinformation, because those are entirely two different things. A myth is just something you believe for whatever reason. Misinformation is information that's put out there that's deceptive information, inaccurate information. It's put out there on purpose. Okay? All right. Let me read the two statements. Accidentally touching or breathing in fentanyl is likely to cause an overdose. Statement number 2. There's no way to tell if drugs contain fentanyl.
Ooh.
Yes.
I want to take the second one. I want to take the second one.
Yes.
I think that's a trick statement.
The second one?
Yes.
A trick statement. In what way?
Statement.
I'm not trying to trick you.
Well, I believe, and when Charlie gets on, he can tell me if I'm correct or not. But I believe just by looking at something or looking at marijuana, trying to see whether it's laced with fentanyl, I don't think you can tell. But
It doesn't have an odor or, I see what you're saying there.
If you have a test kit, they have testers
Like
that
strips?
you can test. Yeah, and then that can tell you whether there's any fentanyl in your product that you're about to use.
So do you think they are myths, misinformation, or just it depends on how you take the statement like you did the second one?
Yeah, so that's why I say it's kind of a gray area. Just
It's a
looking
yes,
at
but?
it. Yeah, I mean, just looking at it, you can't tell. But if you test it, you can tell. So,
Okay. And the first statement?
oh, you're going to take that one.
Oh, I thought we were talking about both.
Oh, you
That's
talk
what we
about
do.
the first statement.
Well, the
you
first
talk?
statement is, I believe, is misinformation, because it was put out there in the very early days of when we didn't quite, or the country didn't quite know much about fentanyl. So I would like to get our guests' take on that.
Yeah, and I want to say hi, Stacy.
Yes,
This is
hi. Well, before we
Stacy,
go,
our
we'll say
old
hi to
friend.
Stacy. Hi,
Hi,
Stacy.
Stacy, our old friend from
And our
that
guest
other
knows
place.
Stacy too.
Yes, really, really, Charlie
Okay,
should know
yes,
Stacy
that
also.
is who
Yes.
our guest is.
Hey, really, Charlie
Hey,
Yay!
hey,
is
hey.
here. What's happening?
Thank you for being here, Charlie. Before I get
Hey,
your yay, yes, yes,
hey,
you definitely deserve that.
love
I
having
love
you.
it.
Before I get your take on that, let me properly introduce you to everyone. Everyone, Charlie is a very busy person. Very busy person. He has not one, not two, but three
Three, three,
podcasts that he
three,
does.
three are better
That's
than
right.
one.
That's right. One of them is called Fentanyl Facts and Stories. Another one, you heard Tony call him this. This is where it stems from. The Really Charlie podcast. Although there's a story with his wife about why it's really Charlie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really, Charlie.
And then he also appears on the Frequency Live as
Yeah.
well. But that's not all. That's not all Charlie
That's not
is.
all. There's
Charlie is
more.
also a poet.
Yes.
And he has a pen name, a poetic pulse. And you can
Yes.
get, he's quite prolific too. And you can find his books on
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazon.
I think he has like 3,000 books that he's written.
I wish.
Probably. Like,
I
I bet
wish.
you've stopped counting, actually.
I
3,000.
wish. I can
And
write.
he's a retired New Bedford, that's in Massachusetts, police department officer. He worked on the force for 30 years. So we know he knows
Hey,
a
he's
lot.
not even old enough to have worked on the police force for 30 years. Come
Well, maybe he
on.
started
I
when he was
started
5 or something, right?
started young and could have been there 2 years before that too.
My
Yeah.
So
goodness.
anyway, as I said, Charlie is a very busy person. So Charlie, you heard that you heard us talking about those two statements. Is it misinformation that because a lot of people, like they find that they have taken fentanyl because it was with something else, so they
Yes.
couldn't easily detect it. So is there a way to tell if drugs contain fentanyl?
Not at all. It's kind of ghostly as I say it because um, whether it's in marijuana, it's you can't tell. And I tell everyone to just assume that it's in everything, And if you have to use something, um, make sure you know where you're getting it from, and don't assume that people are taking care of you because that's not the case, and which usually results in some overdoses or poisoning. And that was and poisoning was the main reason why we started the podcast. My co-host Paula Santos Young is she lost her son to fentanyl poisoning. Um, he um, used marijuana recreational, and he purchased a marijuana which was laced with fentanyl, and which led to killing him in a very young age. He was doing so well with many things. He started a foundation of Achieve Greatness 88.org, and focusing on the uh, young males and playing basketball and coaching them up, and it was going on. It was going pretty well, for something that he started from the ground level. So once he had passed, we um, his mom, dad, they decided to keep it going. And the only way I could possibly give and contribute to the family and Andrew, who I knew and was a friend, was to do this podcast every week on Mondays at 7:30 on Facebook Live, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So,
Wonderful.
um, and the first part of your question, the first question you
Excuse
raised,
me.
oh bless you,
Sorry. Ooh. Turn
we
down the
know
mic.
we know you're saintly, but God bless you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh boy. Couldn't hold
So
it back.
fentanyl is in every possible drug, whether you're using it recreationally or addicted, just assume that you're going to be poisoned, um, because it's everywhere. It's just everywhere.
Uh,
And can you be affected? The other statement, can you be affected by accidentally touching or breathing it in? If
Touching, no, but breathing in, yes. The touching is, unless you have something open, a cut, or you should be okay. But what I that was the one of the issues that usually comes up every week. Those questions and those myths that you're bringing up is something that comes on the podcast very frequently. Paula is everywhere. She's advocating all over the place. And it's not just in Massachusetts. She's gone to D.C. She's gone to different parts of the country, and very, very strong advocate. So,
that's wonderful. Charlie, I want to ask you another question. You
sure.
mentioned fentanyl overdose and fentanyl poisoning.
Yes.
So what's the difference?
Usually, someone that's you know taking fentanyl, just taking it. They just want to basically they're taking it and they overdose, and it doesn't take much. It's the size of a pinpoint of a pencil or pen, that can kill you, and kill
Oh,
you ratherly quickly. 3 to 4 minutes. And the poisoning is not knowing. You know, there's a lot of pills out there that look like Skittles, and so people are taking them and then thinking it's candy, or passing it on to a friend, a family, a stranger, and everything. So the person's just taking it to relieve maybe a headache or back pain or something,
hmm,
but they think it's something else. And all in all, it was laced with fentanyl, and that's poisoning. So it's
wow.
just not
Well, thank
knowing,
you.
not
Uh,
knowing that it's in there, because with all the stats that are out there, it's very scary, and it's killing a lot of young people throughout the country. It's one of the highest, has the highest rate of a killing guy from 12 to 18, I believe it is. Um,
that's young.
uh, yeah, so it's one of the highest killers, in the country.
Well, as
Um,
you know, our podcast is the premise is relationships, and you mentioned your co-host is a mother who lost her son. What are some of the other stories you've heard from family members left behind?
um, there was a very talented, child that was in Texas. He's playing football, getting good grades. Was probably going to move on and move forward to doing many fabulous things, and he ended up coming across fentanyl, but poisoning. It was just it was another accident, and his dad is devastated. Still, he's every day he thinks about his son, and playing football and just hanging out. And the dad was a police officer, so it's even in households with professionals that are constantly dealing with it, it can affect your life. It can affect everybody, anybody. It doesn't matter where you come from, all walks of life. It's very similar to the crack epidemic, the 80s and 90s, and they thought it was just a community, or an urban drug that was just out there, and but little did we, I mean, we did find out that it was affecting everybody. And fentanyl is hitting all walks of life.
yeah.
Uh, so um, uh, there's a few others, and I don't. What I try to tell everyone is go to Texas documentaries, on YouTube. and it gives the most elusive, organic stories right on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
from people that are families that have been affected, and it's a great teacher. It teaches and teaches parents that may be going through something what you can do, what to look forward to. So that's Texas Pictures documentaries on YouTube. It's a go-to for me, and I really love it. I don't narrate the stories as well as I could, but those YouTube videos are amazing.
Excellent. We'll have to check that out. See?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, what are some of the things that, because you haven't been describing addicts. So, what are some of the things that families can look for to help someone out before it does end in death?
One of the things, just addiction, period, to anything. That's the one thing. If you feel that your child, your family member is having some kind of problem, um, or getting prescribed any kind of drugs. I've seen professors in universities that were going into the hospital for an injury, and end up coming back out, and they were getting hooked on fentanyl through opioids and other opioids that were end up getting laced, and they're not being prescribed. And people are just trying to just say, hey, I need some relief somewhere, and they're grabbing things. So one of the things you just want to concentrate is an addiction of any sort whatsoever, because it's anything that you mention. You too could mention something, any particular drug from Annex, Adderall, to anything. Guess what? Chances are, if they didn't get it prescribed, it could be laced or getting on the street.
Mm-hmm.
People are easily, there's a the truth was that it was coming over the border through Mexico and from China, but now we're finding that what's going on is that there's homemade pill makers that are being made in the U.S. within our borders, producing 90,000 pills probably an hour.
An
So if you
hour?
an hour, so
Wow.
if you think of
Gee.
that, and just it's just amazing. So, and the federal authorities, local authorities are trying to fight it as best they can, but that amount of production is it's like a tsunami, hurricane, and how do you stop it?
Wow. Yeah.
The phones are a good source. Pay attention to your child on the phone. Some of the emojis that are going out there. What I tell everybody, go to Google, and the emojis are getting updated. You can put fentanyl emojis; they should all come up, and just to give you an indicator of what's going on.
Okay.
Um, uh,
I do have a question. I've never asked this question. It never dawned on me to even ask this question.
Uh oh.
So, for someone that specifically likes to take fentanyl, what type of high are they looking for? What is the attraction of fentanyl?
it's the strength; it's so strong.
But
Um,
does it make them groggy? Does it make them euphoric? Does it what does it do?
um, I really it's hard for me to explain, but there is a like a fade away, kind of zombied out a little bit, but it's just a push adrenaline from what be explained through someone that's actually experienced it. But the people I know that are using fentanyl are usually not alive to tell me again that same story.
Oh, that's
So
sad.
it's so dangerous, and but it's a strong push. Maybe not an upper, but it's more like a kind of downer. It just chills you out. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, but I'm not going to try it. You can give me all the
I'm
money in the
not gonna
world.
try it either.
You can give me the greatest look, like Tony. I still would say no. I would say no, 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 and it's just very tragic. And we had some good guests. We had someone from the Border Patrol on the fentanyl facts and stories. We had some federal agents, some moms and dads that experience a lot of things, fatally, tragically rather, and so. And we're on YouTube. I like YouTube, Facebook, pretty much the same sites that platforms that you're on.
Mhm.
And this production is amazing. You guys got me all excited. I'm looking at all the little gadgets. I'm like, said I'm
Yeah.
behind the scenes, man. I'm usually on the other side looking at it.
Well,
So
if you like that, check this out. It's a segment that we call
I'm trying to help you.
mm,
Yeah, we're trying to help you. Are you trying to help us,
I'm trying to
Charlie?
help you be.
Yes.
Are you trying to help the audience? Give them something.
So
Help
So
them out.
so Charlie, I view you and your co-host as people who are advocating for increased awareness of this important issue and as you said, tragic issue.
mhm.
What are you wanting change of some sort? What is it that you all want to happen other than getting, people not not to use the drug at all? But how do we get there?
Well, the first thing that Paula usually says is she says that I don't want anybody to go through what I'm going through. So she's trying to educate people to make sure that they don't go through it. And she's every day, she's every moment of the day, she's probably talking about it. So that's the main thing. I like to jump on her coattails and what she's advocating for because it's all because of her son. So that's one of the things that we try to do, and I try to do it on every week. I
Hmm.
totally dislike missing a show, and we just missed one this week. But there are a lot of people out there that are reaching out to us that are behind the scenes or send us messages. So the one thing I want to do is just to educate people and just don't want them to go through the same thing that Paul is going through.
Yeah.
As her husband says, he explains that my wife is now in several pieces, millions and millions of pieces now. He has different pieces of her, and he's but they deal with it together, and he the their marriage is gotten stronger, and but they both believe that there was going to eventually be a disconnect because of the tragedy with their son Andrew. It's just I hope I answered the question. I'm
You
sorry.
did. You did. You said you want to educate, but you don't want people and you don't want people to go through
Yeah, and
that
and and,
experience.
and government and local and federal, they're just doing piecemeal. Yeah, for some reason, they're reluctant to mention this to kids within the school. And it's very important that we reach the elementary school level because they're being affected. Um, and it's not like, when we were all growing up, dibbling, dabbling at a older age. And now it's in the elementary school that kids are really trying to do things. Like I said, it looks like Skittles sometimes, in these pills.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
I've heard reports that fentanyl deaths are actually down last year, but it's not because people are using less. It's just that people know how to not, are learning how not to die from it,
yes,
from an
and,
overdose.
and it's they're getting crafty with it, and
That's still risky business,
yeah,
though.
it is. It is. How can you break up the the space on the tip of a pencil. How can you fragment that up to have less fentanyl?
Mm-hmm.
Because that small amount will kill you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so, how do you? It's just crazy how th- there's so many other things. I mean, yeah, alcohol is an addiction. But give me a Bud Light, give me a Jack and Coke, give me something. I
A
just don't.
Bud Light,
Yeah,
Jack and Coke,
something. And I'm sorry if I'm mentioning this.
Patron.
Yeah, this is I'm right show, and if that statement was wrong, I'm
No,
so I'm
Oh
no.
no,
so sorry.
that
Actually,
was perfect.
actually, we are sitting at a bar.
See that my kind of people, my kind of people. I love you guys.
Yeah, our set is part of the bar.
That's right.
Why not?
Well, Charlie,
Hey,
thank
we.
you so much
Oh,
for
thank you.
giving us your insight. We just want to remind everyone that you have three podcasts, but the one that we've been talking about the most tonight is called Fentanyl Facts and Stories. It comes on every Monday on platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and
Right.
LinkedIn Live.
Hmm.
Is that right? At
Yes,
7:30 Eastern.
Eastern time. Yes.
7:30 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you check that out to learn even more. And perhaps if we all became more educated about this drug and what it can do to families, perhaps we all could be, like form like our own little army to stop it, kind of thing.
Yes.
So make sure you check Charlie and his co-host out with that show. But he also has other shows too. When does your Really Charlie podcast air?
That airs on Tuesday, usually 6:30 p.m. Eastern time or 7 o'clock. It all depends the scheduling of my guests. They may work later, so I'll push it up to 7 o'clock. But normally 6:30 p.m. But I will alter any times just to get my guest on. So that's the set time. You know that's what I put out there. I love it. I started that podcast because of the pandemic, and was trying to think of a name, and the name came from my wife, because some of the stupid and crazy things I do, and she says, "Really, Charlie?"
Really,
Yeah,
really,
really, Charlie.
Charlie.
So that's what the name came from. It came from her. She gets all the royalties for it.
As she should. And
Yeah,
then you
and
also have the Frequency Live podcast. When is that?
that is on Sunday on WNB1 Radio, which I have on my
Oh,
hoodie
your
here.
shirt? Yeah,
All
your shirt.
right.
You
Yeah.
can add it to your devices, Apple or Android. Just put in WNB1 Radio, and it will pop up. And the website is WNB1.com. Spell out the word one like it is on my hoodie, and you will see all the different shows, podcasts, hip hop music. But the
Wonderful.
Frequency Live is hosted by a friend of mine, Berto Carter, Jasmine. Um, we have Derek, myself and Edmund, and the live stands for Leading in Vibrational Experiences.
Oh,
So,
I
and
like
that's
that.
Ah.
yeah. So
I
we talk
like
about
it.
everything. We talk about so many things, and it's fun. You do a podcast by yourself for so many years, and now you have a group of people, and we don't always agree with things, and that's the great thing. You get to debate about things from
Mhm.
mostly now it's political stuff, and then we talk about relationships with men and women. Um, it's pretty intense, because Jasmine's the smallest one of the group, right? But she's a woman, and we call her J Glock because she's carrying a firearm. There'd be shots fired in the studio, but she is, and but it's very. I like it. And that's Sunday, and at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and we try to air it on Facebook and YouTube. I put it on my YouTube channel because I'm part of it now. So it's but we like it.
Okay, wonderful. And we also told the audience that you're a poet and you can find your books under A Poetic Pulse. There are lots of them on Amazon. But Charlie, before we
3,000. He's written 3,000 poetry books.
but before we let you go, Charlie, we do have a question from an audience member.
Sure.
Connie wants to know: is this drug prescribed by physicians in non-lethal doses?
Yes, it is. They can be prescribed the fentanyl, but I wouldn't. Like I said, try morphine or something if you need it. Try something that could, but it's a drug. It's a drug that's there. It's a legal drug, but it has to be administered and prescribed by the professionals, being physicians. They are pharmacists. Those are the ones that will give you the right dosage. And
That's good to know.
Yeah.
That is good to know, because I would be scared. Like, you're gonna give me what? I would be frightened. Okay, well, I think that's all we have time for tonight.
All right, time went quickly.
It did go quickly. Thanks again, Charlie. We love you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
do.
And
love
we
you.
thank you for doing this. We really think it's an important topic. So thank you for being our expert on it.
I love it. Very honored to be on the show, and I was right on. I'm right.
You were right the entire show. No argument there.
Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great work, Charlie. Because and I've said this before, you don't have to do this. You can be retired, laying out on a beach somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
That's right.
Don't have to, and committed every week, only because it needs to get out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So keep it up.
And we do have.
And you also.
Thank you.
And Connie has one last comment. She asked her question because she doesn't want any. Just wondering.
Yeah. Connie tried.
We would start scratching our head about
Like,
Connie.
No, we weren't.
Tried Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke instead. It's legal and it won't kill you.
We gotta keep you in the family. We don't want no people missing from Tony's family.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, thanks again, Charlie. We really appreciate you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys with all my heart, and we gotta hook up, like we said. And
Definitely.
Yeah. I didn't forget. I'm gonna try to catch you on one of the Tuesday shows. I'll see if I can get in there.
Well, I wanna be on your front lawn. That's where I wanna be. Trying to get there, man. I'm trying to get there.
All right, it's okay. We're here. We're not going anywhere.
That's it. You stay here. Stay here until you're $1.50. All right.
Yeah.
All
God
right.
bless you.
All
Love
right.
you guys.
Thank you.
Take care. Love you.
Love you.
All right.
Bye.
Awesome.
All right.
All right.
Hi.
So, okay, you pressing buttons
I'm
still?
pressing buttons. I'm trying to get
Hello?
in position here.
In position. Ooh,
Okay.
We're getting ready to
All
get
right.
on out of here, I think.
Yep. You ready?
I'm ready, but you're not
I'm not ready.
But I'm ready. The music's playing. You're not ready.
I'm not
Because
ready.
there's too many things to press
I know.
here.
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, little
Whew.
assistance.
Okay, here we go.
There we go. Too many buttons. Hey! So everybody, make sure you tune in next week. That's season 8, episode 7, and check out Angela Jackson Brown and family to talk about adoption. And this one is odd because she adopted a grown person. Oh, check that out. Oh, Untethered, and is the book. Angela is also an author. and this is the book she's written. And check that out, and they can get that at
bookshop.org.
Bookshop.org.
Like a bunch of places.
Yeah,
everywhere
Amazon,
books are sold.
everywhere. The
Yep.
airport.
And the
You can
book
get it
happens
at
to
the
be about
airport.
foster care.
Yeah, but you can get it at the airport if you want. Anywhere you want. So check that out. But she'll be our guest next week.
Along with her family.
Along with her family. That's going to be interesting. Okay, and always remember to check out I'm Right every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. You can also watch the show at Jill's website, which is jillcoxcordova.com, and click the podcast tab. And remember, you can watch it on Facebook and YouTube also. Okay, after show, anyone? We need your input. Any shows you want to, any topics you want. You know, it's great. Let us know what you want to hear, what you want to talk about, what you want us to talk about. And we will probably do it. All right. And there we are again. Okay, so this is kind of wrapping up the show, Jill.
It's
So
very much wrapping up the
I've
show.
got 40 seconds to
All
do
right,
this,
I just
so
want to say
let's
bye.
go. Love you all.
Love you. Bye. Till next week.
week.